TWM podcast.
The road to the Intercontinental Championship hits a bump in the road as WWE take real-life issues into their own hands. Also, does the Women's Champion have her eyes on another set of belts? And Mandy and Otis continue to live the dream life. Hey there, it's Tom, and it's time for some Smack Talk, running down all the things from last night's SmackDown. Now, this is a TWM podcast, bringing you wrestling content 6 days a week, and you can get us on Apple, Google Podcasts, Acast, Spotify, TuneIn, Podbean, and anywhere else that podcasts can be downloaded. Also, if you're on YouTube, you know this right now, but this is one of our first video podcasts. So pop onto our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/TWM Wrestle. That's right, we finally got that custom URL we've been waiting so long for. And come and check out the video. This is going to be an interrupted one, so that we make today, you're going to know about it. So TWM podcasts are brought to you Love Sport, a fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bars, showing the latest WWE pay-per-views when you're not in lockdown. Obviously, restrictions are easing, but you still can't go to the pubs and bars. But We Love Sport, when they are going to be open, they have over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips, and allows you to book front row seats so you don't miss a second of the action. So download the We Love Sports app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sports on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK, and check out welovesport.co as well. They've got some great content to keep you entertained during self-isolation, lockdown, whatever you want to call it these days. Also, TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly-themed monthly wrestling subscription service, to bring you a fantastic deal. And if you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at wrestlecrate.co.uk, you don't just get one, you don't just get two, but you get 3 free items, one for each first 3 months with WrestleCrate. So that's all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM. And alongside me today, talking all things from last night's SmackDown, we have Rhys. Hello, Rhys. How are you today?
Yeah, what's up, Tom? I can't quite put it into words how I feel to be talking about last night's episode of SmackDown, so I've just pulled up the online thesaurus. I am thrilled. I'm exhilarated. I'm elevated. I am full of beans, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But yeah, seriously, last night's SmackDown was fantastic. I can't wait to talk about it with you.
Well, it is going to be an interesting talk with some of the issues that popped up. Let's waste no more time. Let's get straight into it. So we open up last night's SmackDown, and we're not in the ring. We're outside the Performance Center, and there's been a car crash. We're looking on. There's medics on the scene. There's police, and we've got a car that's looks like it's been stopped, and Elias is lying right on the floor, motionless. Okay, and so we've got Elias out cold. Police looking in the car. There's a bottle of whiskey, and they bring down the little flap, the sun visor, and what do you know? It's a rental car, and the papers are in Jeff Hardy's name. Now, I've seen on Twitter, and they have not been good. And I'm guessing from the opening of this, Rhys, you're thinking something quite different to everyone else.
I don't know. The opening, if I was writing it, I'd probably be a bit reluctant to kind of venture into that whole drink driving side. I think, obviously, it is a reference to what has happened to Jeff in real life in the past. So, for anyone that doesn't know, that's what it's referencing. Yeah, they're definitely walking a line, I think. And I think definitely hinting that it was Jeff driving. But as the episode goes on, as we'll talk about, maybe it's not too bad as the reveal at the end kind of suggests.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing for myself, we know that Jeff Hardy has done these storylines before. I mean, he did one with CM Punk, if we remember when they were feuding over the World Championship. So, personally, I think that, obviously, Jeff Hardy is quite open to doing these storylines. We know he's obviously had his addiction issues. I mean, that's been a lot to do with his comeback over the last month or two, is the fact that he has had these demons in his past. He has got addiction issues. But I mean, if he wasn't okay, if he wasn't okay with it, they wouldn't do it.
They're talking about it a lot more as well. Like in the past, that's the kind of thing you'd think WWE would want to sweep under the carpet and not make a thing out of it. So it is very curious that they're actually acknowledging that and have been doing so for the past since his return. Actually, that's seems to be what the whole thing's built around.
Yeah. So basically, we find out that obviously it's Jeff Hardy's car, and as I said, you've got to know that Hardy has had a say in this storyline anyway. But we go down the side of a truck, and we find Hardy clearly in pain, grabbing his head in pain, and straight away the cops smell. Right? No, he stinks of booze, and they arrest him straight away. No questions asked. They arrest him. He's obviously looks like he's been in an accident. He's covered in booze, smelling of alcohol. I've got a couple of things. First of all, surely a breathalyzer test should be in order. Secondly, the car had no bumps, no marks, no scratches on it whatsoever. And thirdly, we get a Jason Jordan sighting.
Yeah, I thought was as well as Jason Jordan, Jamie Noble was there, and I thought it was kind of funny how they shooed Renee Young off. They were like, "No, get out of here! This is a crime scene."
Yeah,
and yet Jamie Noble is the one carrying Jeff Hardy out of there. Like,
I would say, Jamie Noble during this actually really did really well. I'll give him that. So all this leads to obviously Jeff Hardy is being is arrested and taken in for questioning. So this all leads to Adam Pearce, who is a backstage figure. We don't see him on TV, but so he's taken the lead here, and he's surrounded by about 10 SmackDown superstars. Obviously, we're talking about the Intercontinental Championship tournament, which was supposed to have the semi-finals tonight. Now, 2 of those participants have obviously no longer in the building. So we get an announcement. There's going to be a battle royal to determine the man who faces off against Daniel Bryan in the semi-final. So Daniel Bryan, typical face, and this reminds me of before even the Yes movement, just during his NXT type personality, if we'll say, going, do the right thing, I'll fight. I love AJ Styles. No, no, I'm in the final. He can't compete. See you later. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm with AJ on this one. What a stupid idea from Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that final line popped me as well when he just said that to him and walks off, and Brian's there looking confused. I don't say I didn't realize Adam Pearce was as tall as he was. He had a good foot on everyone else.
Was he not? I thought he was on a soapbox or something.
He could have been. So I don't know. He's not. I know he did wrestle. He's a former NWA champion. I know he wrestled a lot of the indies, but he's not someone I've seen a lot. So I don't know if he's tall or if he was just standing on something. The first segment was great. Apart, the drink driving bit aside, I thought the way it was all set out and played out was fantastic. It was this goofy backstage stuff that got me in love with wrestling in the first place. So I'm very much happy to see that make a comeback. But I think this second segment, I enjoyed a lot more than the first segment as well. Just everyone round in a circle, just chatting absolute breeze, just having these ridiculous arguments. I absolutely love this segment.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, I'll say as well, Adam Pearce, he cut a very good management figure, and obviously we haven't got GMs or anything at the moment, but we have on NXT with William Regal, and he plays one of the best GMs there is because he doesn't get involved that much. He comes in when he wants to. And I feel like if they were going to go down that road, I think Adam Pearce, I know this is the only time we've seen him, but he comes across, he's got that authoritative type of feeling, and if he only gets involved when he's needed, then I don't mind seeing a bit more of him. Also, this gave quite a few other people in this segment to have a little bit of a shine. I mean, obviously we had Jey Uso. He's not doing anything at the moment because his brother's out injured. You had Chad Gable. I'm not calling him Shorty G. I refuse to.
Say his name, you coward.
No, I will not do it. So, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this. It kind of upbeat kind of thing after the first segment, which was great. So we then get the Battle Royal straight away. And to be honest, it's your typical Battle Royal for TV. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think if you're flicking through the channels, though, like if you don't watch wrestling and the first 3 segments you see are like that car crash segment, the backstage like argument segment, and then a battle royal, like the casual viewers are gonna be hooked on that like straight away. Like what more could they want?
Yeah, it's something that'll grab your attention for sure. And plus, it was a nice way to like kick off some feuds or storylines for the rest of the night, and maybe even going forward. I mean, we get a nice little thing with Shorty G and Cesaro, for example, and we get that match later on in the night. We'll talk about that later on. Anyway, the final 3 of this though, it was Shorty. No. Chad Gable. I've just realised I've said Shorty G. It was Chad Gable, Sheamus, and Jey Uso. That's the final 3. Also, we need to say, great seeing Drew Gulak back. We'll say that. Brilliant.
Definitely. It looked like he was probably on the way out, and then I guess they resolved whatever.
On the way out, he was gone. He was gone. They'd closed the door. It was just, obviously, backstage politics.
They'd already erased him from history, a training partner.
Yeah, exactly. So we get the final 3. Cesaro, who was eliminated by Chad Gable, comes back into the ring to throw him out, and he's eliminated. I love how they tried to say illegally. They've never made this point before. He was illegally eliminated. You were eliminated. Get over it. And then we have Jey and Sheamus left, and it ends with Sheamus delivering a bro kick on the apron to Jey right into the ring post, and the visual was brilliant. I thought it really got across Sheamus as a force.
It looked vicious, like, to be fair, like it didn't look like a nice bump to take. It looked like it actually really hurt.
Yeah, exactly. But great showing from some of those guys in that match, I will say. So we get our main event. So it's the first semi-final, and the only semi-final actually. Sheamus v Daniel Bryan, and we know from the past that these two guys can have a good match. They love working for each other. We get references all the way through the match. 18 seconds at WrestleMania, of course, if we all remember WrestleMania 27, and we get Sheamus basically controlling the match, I would say. And I love how they're making the point out that Sheamus is one of those guys that you hit him, he will just hit you back harder. He's someone who, the more pain he absorbs, it's the stronger he gets. They might as well call him the Ginger Hulk.
Yeah, it's like, you remember that feud from a couple of years back, well, when Sheamus and Cesaro first started out in the bar, that started as that... was it a best of 5 or a best of 7?
Best of 7 that ended up in a draw.
But they'd already had 2 matches together before that best of 7 series even started. So
yeah,
but those two were just going at it, and like, yeah, you're right. Like Sheamus is one of those people. He can have an absolutely fantastic match when he's with the right opponent, and I think this match was very good as well.
It was good. Yeah. So anyway, we've seen these two wrestle before, and we know the type of stuff it is. Sheamus controls most of the match. And anyway, it looks like the finish is coming. But then Jeff Hardy makes his return from the police station, and he distracts Sheamus, and Bryan hits a running knee for the win. And obviously it was an overarching arc for the whole episode, so it was a nice conclusion. I mean, it was a bit obvious that it probably is Sheamus who has set Jeff Hardy up. We know that. So it's going to lead to another match. Yeah. It's going to lead to another match in the future. And it does mean, though, we do get that Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match in the final.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted that. Everyone kind of expected that that's the way they were going to go. And you could see tonight, Bryan and Styles had a couple of words. Also, at Money in the Bank, when those were the two that went into Mr. McMahon's office, they were kind of... You know, there's a bit of a rivalry going on, but it's not your normal rivalry. It's kind of like a slapstick, kind of goofy comedy angle.
Yeah,
but with two amazing wrestlers, so the matches are gonna slap.
It's two guys who just want to have fun with each other. That sounds bad. Yeah, and that is obviously it's a match that anyone in the world would love to watch. So yeah, that's basically everything that happened with the main storyline going through. We also had a little tag team retreat, as I like to call it. So with the Hall of Extraordinary Tag Teams, with both SmackDown Tag Champs and Women's Tag Team Champions out for an episode of Moment of Bliss, and we get some nice banter with both teams, trading food. We got some Scottish pancakes from Alexa Bliss. I'm not going to do the accent again. And what was that coffee called? What was that coffee called?
I can't remember what he called it, but he certainly...
It came from places... It came from places we don't want to know. I know there's certain animals they say they eat coffee and then they excrete the coffee and it's supposed to enhance the flavour. That's still a coffee I have heard of that.
Yeah, I've not tried it. I can't say I'm really wanting to.
But yeah, I'm guessing this one doesn't taste as good as that. So yeah, we get some nice little things from.
He's not brewed the coffee for a start. He just put it in the cup and stirred it.
Yeah, but he's definitely added his own
like the
scent.
bean. He hasn't even ground it.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? I'm going to go to Big E. I'm going to message him on Twitter, say, can you send my mate Reese some of these coffee beans that have been under your armpits in your singlet, and we'll send them to you, and you can drink them live on podcast when you get them, yeah?
Yum.
Yeah. It's like, I'm getting a salty taste from this. Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
So before we can get an actual proper interview with the New Day, Sasha Banks and Bayley make their way out, and there's a reason I'm saying Sasha Banks first this time. So first of all, I want to highlight there was a lovely personal memorials that both the New Day and Sasha Banks had for Shad Gaspar and Hana Kimura, respectively, wearing armbands with both wrestlers' names on them. So it's lovely that the WWE, not obviously with Shad, they've given the little pictures and stuff for him over the last couple of weeks, but allowing Sasha Banks to have her own memorial of Hana Kimura as well, which was lovely touch.
I think like Sasha Banks, she, if you've seen Sasha Banks online, she is probably also, the victim of the kind of, trolling from, well, I don't even want to call them fans because they're not really fans if they're doing that, but, the internet trolls, especially, thinking back to that whole story about Sasha being on the floor crying at WrestleMania. Yeah. That whole documentary actually that came out not too long ago on the network. So
she's definitely had her own demons to deal with online, and I digress. I mean, all wrestlers really have to put up with that. Not just wrestlers, everyone in everyday life, and as long as this issue gets pushed to the forefront, I think we need to tackle it. I mean, it needs to be made a crime that can be punishable with jail time, if we're completely honest. It might already be in some countries, but it definitely needs to be tackled harder. But we are not here to talk about crime. We are here to talk about wrestling. If you do want to talk about any of those, don't be afraid to hit me or Reese up on Twitter, and we'll gladly have a great conversation about that. Anyway, so we get Sasha and Bayley coming into the ring. Sasha throws her jumper at Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Do not anger a Scotswoman, because this turned Nikki into the most typical over-the-top Scotswoman I have ever met in my life. Sasha Banks and Bayley go on about how they're the most dominant female tag team ever. Obviously, they're saying they put the tag team championships on the map by being the first champions, and that Bliss and Cross aren't impressive at all. And basically, Bliss at this point goes, I'm sorry, the second Bayley started talking, I stopped listening, which I loved because it allowed Sasha to talk a little bit more. So Bliss also mentioned Sasha's the only superstar in the ring with no championship. Remember, the New Day is still there. So it's really getting to this point now. It's like, Banks, you're not a champion. We've got this. Your best friend has that championship, which she's never given you an opportunity for, even though you're friends. Starter is really, and if you've seen the rumors, stories online, apparently, obviously, SummerSlam this year was going to be in Sasha Banks' hometown of Boston, I believe.
Yeah,
Boston.
I was hoping to go to that actually, but it looks like
not going to happen. Not going to happen this year. But obviously, it looks like that that is more than likely going to be cancelled, and they really wanted a face Sasha Banks for that event to probably win the championship off Bayley. So it looks as if we're not getting that big payoff in front of a home crowd, but they still want it to happen at some point. So we could get this underlying simmering rivalry between Bayley and Sasha Banks for a while yet. But yeah, so we say Banks says that if it wasn't for her and Bayley, tag team titles would be a thing. We've already talked about that. And they say as well, they can get the tag team championships back at any point at all. Bliss is like, come on then, let's do it. And they say they will, but Bayley will show why they're the best when, and this is Bayley talking now. Bayley's like, yeah, we'll show you what are the best when Sasha beats you now. What? Bayley is literally throwing Sasha Banks in the walls again. It's brilliant. But yeah, so we get Sasha Banks and Bliss again, and we also get Bayley and Nikki on commentary. Now, Bayley is being that. Bayley's just being the heel that she has grown into over the last year, and Nikki, as I said, is just completely over the top.
Yeah, I think like the pro that Michael Cole is, like all the experience he's had, all the crap he's seen in the ring over the years. Yeah, this was what pushed him over the edge. Like at one point, the camera went on him, and he wasn't even commentating. Like he had his head on the desk, like laughing, just trying to get his stuff together. He could not.
And I will say, yeah, I will say we do give Michael Cole a lot of grief for his commentary style over the years, but we all know that when push comes to shove and he hasn't got someone in his ear, he can do his best. And to see him actually show personality like this, it was so funny. It was brilliant. We get a decent match with Sasha and Bliss, and we get Sasha picking up what I would say is a much-needed win with the double knees in the corner.
Yeah, I think, if that's the way they are building towards the title match, or whether it's going to happen like soon or further down the line, it's definitely, needs to be picking up wins as and when she's having matches. So, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, brilliant. And we also get the message that next week we're going to get a tag team title match involving both teams. So it's carrying on that little story arc there. And that's a match, again, that'll be interesting to see. We've got two-time tag team champions versus the inaugural champions looking for their second reign as well. I just think these four women in the ring can really deliver when needed, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Was that also the main event at TLC?
Which match at TLC?
The tag team match. The Kabuki Warriors against... Yeah,
against...
Sasha and Bayley, was it?
No, it wasn't Sasha and Bayley. It was Becky and Charlotte.
Oh, of course it was, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it was. No, you're right. No, it was
women.
You had the wrong half of the horsewomen. But yeah, you are right. That was the main event at TLC. Okay. So, other news then. We have Sonya versus Lacey in a match that ends in a double count out. It was good to see both women given time here.
Yeah, and I especially like the little promo she cut beforehand when she's just kind of slagging Lacey off, and you see Lacey kind of pop up in the background, just like, what are you on about? And just lays her out. I thought that was pretty nice.
That was just, I really love. Obviously, we've gone on about Sonya Deville's promos in the last couple of months and how they've been on fire. It was just another great
fire
promo.
And desire, you could say.
For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, I have just given Reese evil eyes over the camera. Damn it, Reese. But yeah, just to see Lacey just undermine all that seriousness, I was like, oh, you're nasty. I counted 5 nasties in this match, by the way. But yeah, and there was also a little bit of storytelling during the match, which I liked. They put over the amateur wrestling background of Lacey Evans as well. And
yeah, which is something I actually didn't know about.
I didn't know that either. Obviously, she would have got some training when she was in the military, but I didn't realise, obviously, she would have been that good. which is good.
Yeah, she posted a photo on Twitter. It would have been like early this morning or late last night, but it looked like she was a child, and it was, like a podium.
Yeah.
So she was like, she's been doing this a long time.
Okay, so that's interesting. It'll be good to see if they could actually put that over a little bit more with her character, with her wrestling style. So yeah, we also had a match between Chad Gable and Cesaro following on from the Battle Royal. Love this match.
Between who?
Chad Gable and Cesaro. Who did I say?
No, I don't think there's anyone called Chad Gable on the roster.
There is. You'll be fine. Shorty G and Cesaro. You happy?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. We get Shorty G winning with a roll-up, and I was actually quite happy with how the roll-up came, because it was at the end of a quite technical sequence, which was great. And this is a feud I wouldn't mind seeing running for like a month or two.
Yeah, I mean, like, Cesaro is one of those people you stick him in the ring with anyone he puts on a great match, but also Shorty G, I think the ridiculousness of that character, and I think people forget just how good of a wrestler he is as well. The
guy is an Olympic medalist in wrestling, and they're making it, and they've given him the name Shorty G. It makes no sense. And then we get to one of the most bizarre things ever. We get Otis and Mandy on a little vacation in what I can own, and what is followed with what I can only describe as the most weird fantasy dream ever. So they're sipping some champagne, some peach champagne, peach flavors, peach. Love that. And he goes off. He's going to
little peach slice on top of a glass.
Yes, I did notice that. I love how Otis downed it as well, and Mandy just sits there. And then Mandy, she needs a little bit of rest, so she closes her eyes and she opens them back up, and straight away you know this is a dream. But seductively, you get Otis, who can suddenly talk completely normal, getting into the water, and then appearing James Bond style out of it. Completely manly. Just everything that Mandy Rose has ever wanted in her life. And they continue to make out. They proceed to make out. And then suddenly Mandy wakes up because Otis has done a running bomb and soaked her into the pool.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You just knew that Otis was going to do like a cannonball into a pool. And I thought this was another great segment.
It was so funny.
Really enjoyed it.
And I'm so happy as well they ended it with those two making out again in the pool anyway. It shows that. And for me, this is showing that, you know what, I don't think Mandy will turn on Otis. Well, not for a long while anyway. Because these two together, we know they're really good friends outside of the ring. That's why they pitched the storyline and it got written involving these two. And watching them together, it's just gold all the time. And they look like they're having fun.
And I mean, let's face it, who hasn't had a fantasy like that about Otis? So I think, Mandy is just...
she's just living out everyone's dream, let's be honest.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, I will give a shout out for our Cultaholic colleagues over at Cultaholic pointing this out. I think it was Ross pointing out the best transition ever into Kurt Angle while they're making out, just going into Kurt Angle staring, smiling at the camera. And how did he say? He's just
one
a
of his
pervy
three eyes is the intensity.
It's such a. It's just a weird. He's just saying, going like, "Yay." But yeah, we obviously we get.
Do you know what? The only thing that could have topped that was if it went to that, that meme of Kurt Angle looking at his phone. The one from when he was the Raw general manager.
No, if he was just staring sideways onto a television screen, just there,
of course,
smiling.
Sideways, the optimum angle at which WWE programming is best enjoyed.
Yeah, but we get Kurt Angle on the screen away from Otis and Mandy now, and they advertise obviously the greatest wrestling match in history, and it's really getting annoying that for some reason they've used The Greatest Showman to hype this match. It completely undermines it.
Yeah, that really puffed me. And, this build for the match, initially I found it a bit annoying, but now I'm starting to get behind it, and I'm thinking, Edge and Randy, their match at WrestleMania wasn't great in my opinion, but Edge and Orton, if there's two people on the roster who are capable of having a match that could go on and be considered the greatest match ever.
Yeah, storytelling-wise, they could do it. Storytelling-wise, easily could be the greatest match ever. Obviously, technical ability, we don't know how much Edge can actually do, and we know the styles of Orton. So I don't think on that side it will be the greatest. But storytelling-wise, definitely could end up that way. It's the Greatest Showman is pushing it into parody for me, pushing it into satire, which I think they may have realised and are doing it on purpose, which if they are, that is a genius stroke.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the only explanation for this whole angle.
Well, do you know what my explanation would be?
What's that?
Bro. Because that's right, we are, it's been rumoured all week, we are getting Matt Riddle. He is done with NXT, he's coming to SmackDown, and I can't wait for this. I'm so glad I get to talk about Matt Riddle. I mean, we've both seen him live so many times, and the guy is just a specimen in the ring. It's just a completely out there character as well, but different to everyone else, ability-wise, and he'll be great on SmackDown. I think this is, when they first moved to Fox and they wanted more of a real sports feel, Matt Riddle was on the top of everyone's list to be on SmackDown, and now he is.
Yeah, definitely. Like, of course, for anyone that doesn't know, he is an accomplished UFC fighter in the past.
He was on the Ultimate Fighter, I believe, in the little Tough Enough style competition they had.
Yeah, and I think he, he wasn't forced out of it for not being very good. I think he was very good. I think he got forced out for
something else.
A drug test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just knew what you were doing there.
Yeah.
But, Riddle on SmackDown. That's going to be, that's going to be good. If you think of the matches, the people on SmackDown who he's going to have matches with will be great. I kind of wonder as well whether Kurt Angle is going to be his manager or whether that's just like a one-off thing to introduce him.
I really hope it's not a one-off thing. I'd love to see Kurt Angle as his manager. I think that would be brilliant because we know, obviously, and we won't get a serious Kurt either. But I want the fun Kurt if Kurt's going to be his manager.
You mentioned earlier about Jason Jordan making an appearance. I think when they announced Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son, they definitely had some whole storyline written out there so that Angle was going to manage Jordan, and because of Jordan's injuries, that of course never happened. But it means they've probably got a storyline they've spent ages writing and putting together, but never got to be played out. So I'm hoping now that whole storyline, Matt is getting that storyline minus the dad part, just the whole.
Oh God! Can you imagine if they said Matt Riddle was Kurt Angle's second illegitimate son? Oh, please no. But yeah, I think that's everything, and we got to point out as well. There was literally Braun Strowman, the Universal Champion, was on the screen for 10 seconds at the beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah, but that was hilarious as well. How they had the it felt like a news report. They'd just gone from the scene and went back to Braun Strowman and be like, "Oh, I'm now here with a witness at the scene. It's
just our champion." It's like, well, I hope they find that SOB. It's like, wow, okay, Braun. But yeah, so that does it. That was this week's episode of SmackDown, which brings us to the end of Smack Talk. If you want to keep across everything we do, all of our social medias are at TWM Wrestle. We got stuff on WWE, NXT, AEW, British and International Wrestling that is happening at Impact. We talk about. We'll keep up to date with everything that's happening with New Japan as well. Hopefully they get back up and running soon. Check out as well www.twm.news for a whole range of articles. We've got articles about the times that celebrities have entered the ring, corresponding with obviously Mike Tyson in AEW this week, and also if the Bullet Club need Carl Anderson again. And as well, if you are listening just to the audio of this, please come over to our YouTube page at www.youtube.com/TWM Wrestle. We have an interview in collaboration with a lot of other obviously sites with the Universe Champion Drew McIntyre. We have that video available. So come over, subscribe, like, comment, all those things that YouTube does. Rhys, would you like to share your social media, please?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Rhys on Wrestling, and also go check out my Twitch. I've started streaming some games on there, and that's also Rhys on Wrestling. So yeah, please check that out.
I believe you're doing how NXT UK should have been booked. Is that right?
Yeah, but it kind of went awry when I just ended up signing the whole Impact roster. So I think I've just put that to one side for now, and just. Last night I started my own indie promotion, playing as Will Ospreay, $2.5 grand in the bank. Looking to
because that ends well. That always ends well. Yeah. Follow me as well at TD Walton over on that Twitter. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back next week with some more Smack Talk.